Hi, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Cardano Podcast. My name is Ryan Morrison, and in today's episode, we'll have an interview with the team behind MuesliSwap. So we discussed things such as why did they decide to build on top of Cardano, why on how has the experience been of being the first decentralized exchange on Cardano, what kind of feedback they've got from the users, and much more than that as well. For the ones that don't know about the Cardano podcast, this is an initiative that we're doing at Cardax. If you want to know more about Cardax, just go to cardax.io. We are a decentralized exchange on Cardano. And without further ado, let's jump into the interview that Xian from our team did with Samuel from MuesliSwap.
Hello, I'm Xian from Cardax. I have here Samuel from MuesliSwap with me. So we're gonna talk about MuesliSwap. So Samuel, you guys really launched the very first DEX on Cardano, right? Congratulations.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And of course, thank you for having me.
So can you tell us what is MuesliSwap and how does it work?
Yes, sure. So, so at its core, MuesliSwap is a decentralized exchange on Cardano. So what that means is that you can trade or swap your Cardano native tokens on MuesliSwap in a decentralized way. So you don't have to trust us. You're not sending your funds to us, but you're locking it in a smart contract. So that means you go to our swap and you place an order. And when you do that, you specify the amount of tokens you would like to buy, then also the limit price you're willing to pay. And this data all gets locked in a smart contract. And then at some point, there might be a matching order. So if you, for example, you want to buy milk, our native token, and then there will be a matching order where somebody wants to sell the exact amount and the prices match. And then we have our decentralized matchmakers. And they look through the order book and see the different orders and pair them up. And then everybody gets their desired amount of tokens for the price they specified.
So you are an order book DEX. This is certainly a novelty in DEX. And I see that the market matcher, the order matcher, they play a very important role in the system, right? So can you tell us who are they and how do they work? How do they match the orders?
Yes. Okay. So there are different people. So we started with the first matchmaker, but so more and more people have reverse engineered and started to implement their own matchmakers. And what they do is simply they look at all the orders which are locked in the smart contract. So you just iterate over them, and then they find the matching pairs and that match them up. And the idea is that so at some point, so for example, you specify a price you're willing to pay, and then somebody wants to sell tokens for a lower amount. So there is a small gap between that, and that's the incentive for the matchmakers. So the matchmakers can then keep this gap in between, and everybody still gets their desired amount of tokens for the limit price they specified. And so yeah, as I said, we have multiple people who are matchmakers at the moment, but we are looking into releasing a guide and making it even easier for people to become matchmakers. So of course, the more matchmakers we have, the more decentralized we are, and we really don't want to prioritize any specific orders. So we will soon release a guide to even have more matchmakers, which are competing with each other. And for you trading, this process also means that if you want to increase the chance for your order to get matched or get matched faster, you can just add a little bit more ADA to your order, because the other matchmakers are also looking for the trades which they make the most profit for. So of course, your order will also get matched if you specify like a lower amount or match one order specifically in the order book, but you can increase your chance by doing that.
Oh, this is very exciting news. So it will be roll out as a new feature, right? To have more decentralized matchmaker.
It will be more like a guide, additional guide. So we already have people, many people we don't know who are matchmakers, but the entry barrier for still relatively high. So you still have to know a little bit of programming, and you still have to know like how the EUTXO model works. And we just want to lower the boundary and for more people to get into that and to become matchmakers.
That's very interesting news. So speaking of this matchmaking and the orderable DEX, how do you see people using your DEX so far? Because I assume that people can do the token swap as usual, but do you see people like doing market making or other activities that usually people can do on a centralized exchange, but they cannot do on a DEX?
Yes, we're really happy to see that. So people are using it for all sorts of reasons. So on the one side, we have that many people are coming to our DEX just to look up the price of specific tokens, or then to look up how the price moves. So we have charts where you can see the trading volume and then also the price over time. And many people use that just to track some tokens, for example. But then, as you said, we also have people who are market makers. So people who program their own trading bots. So on the one side, you have like the traditional market makers. That means you have a bot which places selling orders and buying orders and makes money from the spread between them. And people are implementing that. But then, of course, also arbitrage bots. So people who are looking for an opportunity and also with other exchanges, of course. So we have quite some people there, and we are also working on releasing a guide on for more people to become market makers. Because for us, of course, it's great when there's more liquidity always and more people trying, and then for everybody else, it's great because they can earn a little bit of money by being a market maker passively. So we also want to make that easier for people to start becoming market makers and start developing trading bots on our platform.
Yeah, that's certainly very interesting. Yeah, and at the same time, it will also increase the liquidity level on MuesliSwap, right? Like currently, like what about about the size of the order? I see that most of them are quite small size of orders. Is that correct? Like it takes more time to fulfill a big amount of order.
Yeah, that's currently one thing. If you have like a really, really large amount, then it might take some time for it to get filled. But besides the market making and trading bots, we also have another solution to that, which is coming up in our smart contract version 2, which is currently being audited. And this will allow us to match orders partially. So not your whole order will have to get matched, but like multiple small orders can then go in and step by step match your large order. And this will also lead to much more liquidity.
Great news. I see that you have your native token for the DEX, Milk. So can you tell us how does the Milk token play into your ecosystem, and what is the benefit if I hold it?
Sure, yeah. So Milk is the utility token of MuesliSwap. And the first utility that we have introduced is a reduction in the trading fees. So just to start, for the trading fees, orders up to an ADA amount of 120 are free on our platform. So we want to make it really easy for new people to experiment a little bit and trade. So you won't have to pay for those orders. But after 120 ADA, we take a small amount of fee. And the first utility we introduced is that Milk holders have reduced fees that they pay. And the next utility, which is also coming up very soon, is Milk pools, which means that you can stake your milk in the milk pool, and then you will be able to earn other tokens by that. So we have already had quite a few community tokens reaching out to us and applying for that process. So yeah, you will be able to choose a milk pool and then earn those other tokens passively while your milk is staked there. And then of course, yeah, we have many more plans for milk. It's really the utility and really the community. And one thing is the launchpad, for example. So we will also have a launchpad to make it easy for people to develop and then launch new Cardano native tokens on MuesliSwap. And this will also be yeah, easier for milk holders. Yeah, there's quite a few other utility coming in the future for this token.
That's very exciting, and we as a DEX also look for collaboration opportunities on that as well. Yeah, and
that would be great.
Yeah. On your website, I see that you also have a version on the BCH network. So do you deploy there firstly and then jump to Cardano?
Yeah, so the Smart Bitcoin Cash DEX started before that. And so I was not part when the founders, Chris and Matt, developed that, but this DEX was first. So the Smart Bitcoin Cash DEX. But the goal also at that time was already to start the Cardano DEX. So this was always the main incentive. And for Smart Bitcoin Cash, it was just also seeing that there's no real working DEX and then grabbing the opportunity and developing it there. But yeah, currently we're maintaining both DEXs, the Smart Bitcoin Cash and the Cardano DEX.
Okay. So the Smart Bitcoin Cash, your DEX there, it looks like an ANN DEX. It's not an order book, right? But you choose to do an order book on Cardano. Can you explain why?
Yes. Yeah. So for Cardano, we actually realized that it's much easier and it feels much more native or suited to the EUTXO model to have this order book style model. So yeah, but at some point we will also have a hybrid DEX. So the Smart Bitcoin, the MuesliSwap version 2 contract that is currently being audited, is allows us also to have the automated market makers and liquidity pools. So we will ultimately have a hybrid version because there are many people are enjoying the order book style, but sometimes people just want to swap without like looking for opportunities, and that's why we will have both ultimately.
Okay, great. So can you tell us about your teammates? I see that you also acquired this new knowledge of Haskell and Plutus to deploy on Cardano, right? So how do you manage that?
Yeah, so basically our whole team consists of computer scientists. So we are very focused on developing and very interested in also like understanding the technology side and getting that right. So that's why in the beginning, of course, you didn't see as much marketing from us. So like the other DEXs were really focusing on marketing, but then it took quite a long time to get it developed. And for us, it was the reverse way actually. So we really focused on developing and we're really interested in understanding it, getting it right. And now we are getting more and more into like publicly promoting it. So yeah, the whole team is or the core team is computer scientists. Yeah, and so I'm not mainly working on the smart contract on Haskell and Plutus, but we have yeah, some people who are really good at it and really focusing on that part. Yeah.
Great. I have to say that you guys really did a good job in bringing order book DEX to Cardano. Yeah, and look for many partnership and collaboration opportunities in the future. So thank you, Samuel, for joining me today and letting us know more about MuesliSwap. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.